80 left homeless after fire completely destroyed a longhouse in Cebu. Malaysia will not face water shortage during El-NINO, and China faces soaring temperatures up to 40 degrees Celsius. Those are the headlines for tonight. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. You're now with me, Shira Abang Mansor, and this is TVS Nightline. China is now faced with extreme heat, especially in its southern and eastern regions. Sweltering weather will continue throughout June, and national weather forecasters stated temperatures may reach beyond 40 degrees Celsius in the next 3 days.
It feels like it's getting hotter faster than previous years. When I brought my child out at this time in previous years, it was okay. Overall, it wasn't so hot and stuffy. But this year, once I step out, it feels like summer, and I immediately started sweating. And earlier, it was quite cool. Then it felt like the weather was suddenly approaching summer, and there's no transitional phase in the middle.
I feel that it's getting hotter year after year. I don't know if it's due to the weather and the environment. Maybe it has some impact. It's getting much warmer. I think everyone should take care of the environment. In this way, the weather and environment will be better and more suitable for human survival.
High temperatures have also increased the consumption of power greatly, putting a strain on electricity grids. People and businesses are relying more on air conditioners to combat the heat, and pedestrians were seen using umbrellas, fans and hats when they are outdoors. China's Southern Power Grid reported its peak power load that almost reached record highs.
Meanwhile, in Malaysia, the country is not expected to face a water crisis like the one in 1998, although Malaysia is predicted to experience the El-NINO phenomenon from June to September this year. National Water Services Commission SPAN Regional Operations Division Director Azrul Raimi Ramli is of this view after looking at the Malaysian Meteorological Department's Met Malaysia Weather Report and the current global warming.
Kita kata krisis bekalan air ini bermaksud adalah ketiadaan bekalan air di dalam sistem agihan bekalan air kepada pengguna dalam tempoh masa yang panjang. Itu kita katakan krisis. Dan kita ketahui bahawa telah berlaku di negara kita pada tahun 1998 yang sebelum Sukan Commonwealth saya ingat. Itu krisis di Selangor, Lembah Kelang. Ia adalah akibat daripada penyusutan beberapa empangan utama di Selangor. Dan pada masa ini kita di SPAN kita memang memantau para sempangan sungai dan juga memastikan bahawa bekalan air di bawah operator bekalan air negeri ini dalam keadaan yang baik dan teratur.
Speaking in the Ruang Bicara program on Bernama TV earlier today, he said based on the monitoring of the current condition of 43 dams across the country conducted by SPAN, it has been found that so far almost all dams have water levels above 90%. However, only 7 dams are being monitored as the water level has dropped by almost 50% without exceeding the warning level.
Di Perlis, 46% itu empangan timah tasuh. Di Pulau Pinang, yang baru-baru ini kita ada keluar dalam akhbar dan media, iaitu empangan air hitam sekitar 46.5% dan empangan Teluk Bahang 46.5%. Di Kedah juga empangan Sungai Muda dan empangan Maulud sekitar 42% dan 56%. Di Perak ada empangan Bukit Merah dan di Johor ada empangan Sembrong sekitar 54%.
To ensure enough water supply, SPAN constantly monitors the main dams in the peninsula and has established a preparedness plan that involves the cooperation of various parties and water operators. In view of a crisis in water supply, such as the one that occurred in 1998, Azrul said the government could use the Water Services Industry Act 2006 or Act 655 to limit the rate of consumption for major usage to ensure continuity of water supply.
What was meant to be a celebratory moment turned somber when 80 residents of Rumah Panjang Nyalai were left homeless as their longhouse was completely destroyed by fire on the first day of GAWAI. The fire took place when residents were celebrating until one of them saw thick smoke billowing from one of the 12 doors of the Longhouse.
According to the Cebu's Fire and Rescue Department Bomba Chief Andy Ali, they received a distress call at 8:49 p.m. on Thursday. 18 personnel from 2 bomba stations were deployed to the scene.
Sampai di lokasi kejadian, didapati benar berlaku kebakaran yang melibatkan sebuah rumah panjang 12 pintu struktur jenis kekal. Kebakaran melibatkan keseluruhan rumah panjang yang dengan keluasan 120 kali 50 kaki telah terbakar 100%.
The fire was extinguished using a heavy-duty hose measuring 200 feet with 4 nozzles from various water sources, including a nearby fire hydrant.
Operasi pemadaman dijalankan secara ofensif dan defensif dari bahagian tepi kiri dan kanan sehingga kebakaran berjaya dikawal sepenuhnya pada jam 10.28 malam. Dalam kejadian ini, tiada laporan kecederaan mangsa maupun kemalangan jiwa dilaporkan.
The operation ended at 12:40 a.m.
Sarawak Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari resumes his nabang GAWAI today at the residence of Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Embas in Taman BDC Kuching. Abang Johari was joined by Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, making this his first official ngabang since the unity government was formed. Both arrived at Uga's residence at about 8:15 p.m. and they were welcomed by performances by local musicians. Zahid arrived in Kuching at about 6:20 p.m. for a 2-day work visit, including a courtesy call with Abang Johari at his residence, scheduled for tomorrow morning. Afterwards, Zahid is scheduled for a trip to Kapit to attend the P215 Kapit Gawai Daya Open House, which will be held at Dewan Suara Kapit in the afternoon. The practice of visiting relatives during Gawai festival, known as Ngabang Gawai, is a golden opportunity to strengthen the unity and harmony among Sarawakians. Sarawak Transport Minister Dato' Sri Lee Kim Shin said this is evident in the peaceful coexistence of the multiracial and multi-religious community in Sarawak, where it is common to see the places of worship of multiple religions closely situated to one another.
We have Christmas celebration. Our Christians, they also organize Christmas parade. They can have parade. And the Chinese, for example, when they celebrate Tua Pek Kong, festive occasion for Tua Pek Kong, they also have a parade. And we have temples, churches, and mosques. And there are also some of them, just like the mosque here in Miri, we are next to each other. We have a mosque and a church next to each other. And we also have a Chinese temple and a Hindu temple also next to each other. And also, we even in a graveyard, we have also next to other with different communities. And I always like to quote this example here in Miri. And this is the Lambe cemetery. They are all from our different communities, just all next to each other. And this goes to show the harmony and the unity of our people.
He said this to reporters during his Ngabang Gawai at the residence of the chairman of the Persatuan Wanita Orang Ulu, Kijan Toynbee, in Pujut, Miri on Friday. Speaking further, he urges the younger generations to continue the Ngabang Gawai tradition set by our forefathers, as such a tradition will determine the future progress and development of Sarawak.
Everyone, irrespective of what communities they are from, or religion or culture they are from, we always have a mutual understanding and mutual respect, and we celebrate festival like this together, joyously. So occasion like this is a good occasion for us to strengthen our, foster our relationship between different communities.
Previously, Kim Shin arrived at Kijan's residence at approximately 10:30 a.m. and was served Orang Ulu traditional cuisine, as well as entertained with a traditional dance performance. For the record, Kijan Toynbee was previously the political secretary to the former Chief Minister of Sarawak, the late Pahin Sri Adenan Satem, and the former woman leader of the Progressive Democratic Party, PDP, as well as the former councillor of Miri City Council.
After years of silence due to the pandemic, the Kampung TaIgawa parade returns this year on a grand scale. Organising chairman Josh Wood said the tradition, which began in 1980, makes its comeback after a month of preparations and planning.
Because we knew that because of this race is big, which if you would like to know, it was 1.6 kilometer long, and you would know that the people here, there are many of them, probably about over 1,000. So we prepared it 4 months ago, where we get all the community to organize the function which we normally do during GAWAI. And this year is quite different from what we have done before. For this year, we arranged to have a zonal system where we divide the Kampung into 6 zones. And each zone will organize their own kind of celebration. Because if we do it at once, we would not be able to get everybody to participate. So here, this year around, each zone will organize their own celebration.
According to him, this year's parade is its 43rd iteration. Chami Ladong, a village local who has taken part in the GAWAI parade 23 years ago, said he wants to bring Bidayuh culture and GAWAI celebration to the global level.
We plan to do World GAWAI Festival untuk tahun depan. So that kami akan coordinate dengan SIDA STF, STB, ngembak SIDA turis datang so that they join GAWAI Kampung. Not only GAWAI di pasar, but Kampung, it will be more meriah sekali lah. And then suasana Kampung pun berbeza dari pasar lah. And then we will do more activity like kumang, and we will do tarian-tarian, and then kami akan mempertengahkan budaya. Kami akan mula we will do the cultural food presentation to all the tourists, and then the best part of it, kami akan serve them the traditional drink, yaitu tuak. So it's going to be more grand next year and the years to come. We will never stop. This is our spirit of GAWAI.
A visitor from the United Kingdom, Toby Normanthon, said his experience of the GAWAI parade was the sweetest, as the uniqueness of the cultural diversity in Sarawak is love at first sight.
Everyone that you meet is very welcoming, very hands-on, like very traditional. Everyone around the world should come here because it's very welcoming, very hands-on. The tradition is very beautiful. Of course, my wife's originally from Borneo, so of course I'm here to represent my wife from the UK. So of course, anyone around the world that sees this, you should always come to this festival because it's not only welcoming to everyone around the world, but it's the tradition that's here.
Meanwhile, FOAS Malaysian Putri Nadia Nur Azizan said she did not miss the chance to celebrate GAWAI at the local parade.
Yes, definitely. I can ajak all my friends from West Malaysia to come and be more cultured. Yeah, come during GAWAI. Yeah, come during GAWAI.
On Thursday, the parade, which started at 1 p.m, saw more than hundreds of foreign and local visitors thronging the village. Throughout the event, showcases of Bidayuh culture were also demonstrated through the making of traditional cuisines and traditional dance performances.
Makan Tahun is an annual event celebrated by the Kedayan ethnic. The ceremony, normally held after the harvesting season, featuring the sedaman musical instruments, which will be played to entertain the farmers.
Sibuti Senior Citizens Activities Centre Pawe Advisor Dayang Hartini Abang Ismail said music sedaman of the Kedayan community is often performed during the official ceremonies and cultural festivals.
Yang muzik yang kita persembahkan sebentar tadi adalah permainan muzik sedaman. Permainan muzik sedaman ni kalau daripada zaman yang dahululah, zaman kita mak-mak kita dulu yang zaman mak-mak kita dulu adalah sempena menuai padi. Jadi yang untuk menghiburkan yang diorang yang menuai padi tu, kita mainlah dengan peralatan sedaman, kayu sedaman. Dia dinamakan kayu sedaman. Itulah yang permainan diorang sewaktu menuai padi. Permainan muzik sedaman adalah memang yang tradisional dari kaum suku Kedayan. Keseluruhanlah dari kaum suku Kedayan memang memainkan muzik kayu sedaman.
In order to preserve this unique traditional musical instrument, various efforts have been made, including providing classes to those interested. Meanwhile, Pemanca of Subis District, Dr. Ali Mudin, opined that the culture should be inherited and passed down from generation to generation.
NGO, ketua masyarakat dan juga organisasi-organisasi lain perlu terlibat sama, dan hari ini kita mengucapkan berbanyak terima kasih kepada Astra Awani dan juga TVS yang sudi datang untuk membuat penggambaran, dan ini adalah satu tata cara untuk kita memperlihatkan keunikan dan juga kecantikan tarian, musik dan juga tata cara masakan dan lain-lain kepada masyarakat umum. Jadi oleh sebab itu lebih banyak lagi aktiviti-aktiviti bertaraf negeri dan juga antarabangsa yang patut dipamerkan oleh suku kaum Kedayan itu sendiri.
Sharing one's experience, a talented teen from the community, Shazrai Kalong, shares his experience participating in the Kedayan cultural activities as early as 9 years old.
Kami bermula main peralatan tok dari berumur 9 tahun dan diajak oleh nenek. Kami minat main muzik, alat muzik tu sebab mengukuhkan adat budaya kaum Kedayan. Kami harap ramai anak muda yang ingin join dan belajar tentang peralatan adat budaya kaum Kedayan.
Coming up right after the break, Malaysia crowned the best Muslim-friendly destination, and France regulate law to combat online fraud involving influencers. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. The United Kingdom's UK accession to the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership (CPTPP), expected in a few months, will set the stage for a new phase in Malaysia and United Kingdom bilateral relations. Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadilah Yusof said this is an opportunity to open the doors for better growth and access to new markets.
Fadilah said his party is looking at the UK having a trade deal with Malaysia for the first time. It was reported that the trade pact offers British consumers and businesses access to one of the largest free trade areas by gross domestic product (GDP) at about $13.5 trillion and a market of 500 million people. At the UK-Malaysia high-level dinner in London yesterday, he said that among the key negotiating points was an agreement to reduce import tariffs on exports of Malaysian palm oil. The Deputy Prime Minister said that besides increasing trade, CPTPP drives forward a broader policy agenda, namely addressing climate change in a practical, realistic manner and reducing poverty and eliminating hunger, as well as managing unprecedented technological advances and addressing shared challenges on security.
The weakening of the ringgit is due to policy issues and international constraints and not because Malaysia doesn't have a full-time finance minister, as claimed by the opposition. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim said those who raised the issue should have studied the matter before making such a suggestion.
Itu saya belum dengar lagi lah. Dia tak ada masalahnya dasar dan masalah juga kekangan dari segi antarabangsa. Jadi orang cadang tu suruh baca laporan ekonomi dan keuangan dengan baca laporan PAS.
The Prime Minister was asked to comment on a statement by PAS representative in the Special Parliamentary Select Committee on Finance and Economy, Muhammad Shahir Che Sulaiman, that a full-time finance minister was needed to look into the depreciating value of the ringgit and other financial woes.
Malaysia was recently crowned with 2 tourism accolades, one being Best Muslim-Friendly Destination by the Organisation of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, and the other as the Best Muslim Women-Friendly Destination by Crescent Rating and MasterCard at the Halal in Travel Awards held in Singapore. According to the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Dato Sri Tiong King Sing, Malaysia has also retained the top position in the Best Muslim-Friendly Destination chart in the Global Muslim Travel Index GMTI 2023 report.
In a statement, Tiong said the achievement further strengthens Malaysia's position and branding as a leader in the Muslim tourism and Muslim-friendly tourism and hospitality (MFTH) segments at the regional and international levels. Just last year alone, Malaysia was able to attract a total of 2.12 million Muslim tourists with a total expenditure of 5.37 billion ringgit. With this achievement, Tiong encouraged local entrepreneurs and industry players to offer Muslim-friendly hospitality services as an added value in expanding the Islamic tourism industry in Malaysia. They are also advised to attend courses and programs under the Islamic Tourism Centre ITC, including the Muslim-Friendly Tourist Guide MFTG course, which is open to licensed local tour guides, and the Muslim-Friendly Tourism and Hospitality Assurance and Recognition MFAR program, which provides business development opportunities through the fast-growing Islamic tourism sector.
Food provided by the Lembaga Tabung Haji that cater to Malaysian Hajj pilgrims in Makkah offer a wide selection of local dishes to suit their taste buds. Cafeteria worker Muhammad Haruji Muhammad Yahya said that various small and medium enterprise condiments are also being sold, such as soy sauce, chili sauce, and even sambal.
Popular Malaysian cuisines such as nasi lemak, nasi kerabu, roti canai, laksam, kuih and teh tarik are among the dishes which can be found easily here in Makkah. Malaysian pilgrims can sate their appetite for East Coast dishes at the cafeteria of the Abrash Al Janadriya accommodation building in the Holy City. Meanwhile, those who are around the Masjid Al Haram area can also get local dishes at the Saji restaurant in Safa Tower, which serves, among other things, ayam masak merah and mee goreng.
Thank you for staying with TVS Nightline. And now lawmakers in France have unanimously passed a bill to regulate paid social media influencers and to combat fraud. France's Ministry of Economy, Finance and Industrial and Digital Sovereignty said in a news release that the country has become the first in Europe and one of the first in the world to adopt a framework to regulate commercial influence.
The newly enacted law in France establishes a regulatory body within the Directorate General for Competition, Consumer Affairs and Fraud Prevention. It consists of 15 agents and aims to create a legal definition for the practice of commercial influence. The law also introduces transparency requirements that mandate influencers to label paid content, so it prohibits businesses from hiring influencers to endorse specific products and services, such as medicine, cosmetic surgery, nicotine, and wild animals, among other restrictions. According to the bill, those who violate the regulations can be fined up to 300,000 euros and may face a prison sentence of up to 2 years.
A Russian missile attack on Kiev killed 3 people, including a child, and injured 14 on Thursday. Officials in the Ukrainian capital said it was the 18th attack on the capital this month.
The Kiev military administration said in a statement that the attack struck the Desnyansky region on the capital's eastern outskirts, as well as the Dnipropetrovsk district closer to the center. Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said 9 people required hospital treatment. Emergency crews had extinguished fires caused by falling debris near the sites of the strikes. Klitschko said on the Telegram messaging app a medical clinic had been hit. Photographs posted on the city's website showed windows blown out in the clinic and in nearby apartment buildings. Pictures from the scene posted on social media showed rescue teams attending to residents in buildings with the shattered building materials strewn about on the street. City authorities said the impact was from shot-down cruise or ballistic missiles. Air raid alerts in Kiev and most in eastern Ukraine were in effect for about an hour.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that is all for TVS Nightline. And on behalf of TVS, I would like to wish those celebrating a Selamat Hari Gawai, Gayu Guru Gerai Nyamai. I'm Shira Abang Mansur. Thank you for watching.